Welcome to World History with Mr. Giese. In this episode, we will continue our discussion of the changing landscape of Catholicism in Europe. We will discuss the implications that the Protestant Reformation had on the Church by looking at some of the reforms made in the Catholic Church, the religious and social effects of the Counter Reformation, and what conflicts occurred due to the Counter Reformation. Leading up to the Counter Reformation and even the Protestant Reformation, reformers within the Church had been attempting to reform. These actions were not commonplace, and leaders were often excommunicated for dangerous ideas. However, with humanist values leading people to question the Church, the corruption of the Church, Martin Luther's 95 Theses, and the printing press, the Protestant Reformation put the shortcomings of the Catholic Church in front of the whole world. Although there were other reformers before Martin Luther, we'll pick up with a group founded after he posted his 95 Theses, the Society of Jesus, or better known as the Jesuits. Founded in 1534 by Ignatius of Loyola and approved by the Pope in 1539, they were run with military-like precision. They sought to combat Protestantism with education, so they established missions, schools, and universities to spread their influence. With the Jesuits, the Catholic Church began to stop the spread of Protestantism. The Council of Trent was another measure that the Church used to address the concerning actions of the clergy and the abuses that tarnished the reputation of the Church. It was convened in 1545, lasting to 1563. The training of priests was regulated, and financial abuse was curbed. Ultimately, the sale of indulgences was abolished as well. With all these measures, there was one that the Church was certain of. There would be no compromise between Catholicism and Protestantism. This actually helped the influence of the Church, and with the Jesuits' help, it was able to spread all over the globe. Some followers returned to Catholicism, but still some remained committed to Protestantism. As Protestants broke away, both Catholics and Protestants started to persecute the other. As Martin Luther had given birth to religious freedom across Europe, conflict emerged too. One common view was shared with both. Jews and Muslims were viewed as heretics. A heretic is a person holding an opinion at odds with what is generally accepted. In this case, it would be someone that followed a religion that was at odds with theirs. In places like Spain, they were forced to convert to Catholicism or leave. In other places in Europe, they were allowed to stay, but they would have to live in ghettos with limited freedoms. As clashes continued throughout Europe between Catholics and Protestants, fighting would break out to chip away at the influence of the other's religious power. In Italy, the Holy Roman Emperor Charles V, who was Spanish, attacked Rome in 1527. As fighting broke out, people fled to the north. With these people were artists, authors, and other thinkers, and they spread their ideas and techniques with them as they traveled north. Remember when we discussed the reasons why the Italian Renaissance spread north? Because of these fleeing people, the Italian wars are credited with spreading the Italian Renaissance northward. Germany saw fighting too. Rebelling peasants sparked the beginning of the Peasants' War. Charles V, trying to eliminate the power of the Lutheran princes of Germany, began war with them in 1546. After years of fighting, the Peace of Augsburg was signed in 1555. This allowed the princes to choose their religion. The choices, you guessed it, were Catholicism or Lutheranism. Conflicts like this happened throughout Europe and would continue to do so. In fact, we will be discussing later this conflict between Catholics and Protestants in France. In class, we will continue the discussion by identifying some key people and events in the Counter Reformation.